So Dan, how did you discover Ensign College and what made you decide to attend?
Yeah, so I was at BYU Salt Lake, literally right there, attending. At the time, I was recently engaged and was working as a photographer running my own business. I had heard, and I think actually, honestly, my parents, I'm pretty sure it was my parents, if I remember correctly, bringing up the idea of digital marketing to me based on kind of what I was doing. It was already kind of in that realm, creating content for businesses, but not necessarily promoting that content in the most effective way possible. And Ensign had recently launched a digital marketing certificate and degree program to get your associates in digital marketing and social media. And that really intrigued me. And it was an easy transfer coming from BYU Salt Lake to Ensign. And BYU Salt Lake didn't have that more or less tracked yet. And so it made sense to kind of transfer. And then I found out all of these wonderful things after I transferred. And so, the small class sizes, the one-on-one interaction with professors, that wasn't necessarily happening where I was at previously. I had 3 distinct professors that, in my opinion, completely shaped where I went and really showed me what I was capable of, and then 2, what was being offered here and how it could be applied in my professional life. So my first one is Elisa Charton, and she was teaching intro to social media management. And I'm still very good friends with her today. I still interact with her on a very regular basis. And just the way she had more or less experienced social media in her career and the way she applied it here at the school was unlike anything else I'd previously experienced. And so she really opened my eyes to, hey, this is all the cool stuff you can do with social media and the content that you're already producing. You just need to do it in a more effective way, So she really got my wheels turning on what to do. And then things kind of went on to Tyson Riskus. And all these people I'm mentioning now no longer work for the school, but they majorly influenced my life. But Tyson Riskus was the next one, and he was Intro to Social Media Strategy. And he really got my wheels turning, and I found such a love for strategy and devising, organizations and plans and putting things together and bringing this piece of the campaign and this piece of the campaign together to create an extraordinary outcome, right? And Tyson and I got along super well to the point that we actually became business partners. And we worked together for 2 years doing social media consulting, and that was all because of my interactions here at the school and taking every opportunity that I could possibly see, and also creating new opportunities for myself. And I love Tyson, and we worked together for a long time. And then my third one was Nelson Altamirano, and he was the director of the social media digital marketing program for many, many years. Recently just left the school, but he was an amazing mentor when I was working in the student agency, and I was the strategy director, kind of co-directing the agency from a strategy perspective and working with other students and all of the clients that the school had let us work on as a student body and as an agency. And he just not only, I think, showed me a really great path, but also gave me a lot of really good leadership coaching that majorly influenced the way I lead, our current company and help our employees and our clients now.
So on the note of leadership and skill-based learning, what are some other skills and specific learning that you've taken away that you apply in your business practice today?
I think a big piece for me is interacting with all sorts of and walks of life. I think Ensign is an awesome melting pot of culture. You yourself, you're from England, right? And I got to interact with so many people from other different countries that I had never interacted with prior, even going to BYU or just in my everyday life, right? And so it was a great, school in general is a great place to interact with a whole different, group and melting pot of different cultures and people. And that really influenced my business partner and I, Shane, in the way that we run our business. One, because we work with a lot of people outside of the country. We work with a lot of contractors overseas, and to the point where we actually work with and started a recruiting agency, to the point where we're actually helping other people outside of the United States work for people in the United States. And so that's kind of evolved, and I think that's one of the biggest takeaways I have from college, is just learning how to interact with people from different cultures that have different perspectives, and understanding that everyone has amazing value to give no matter where you come from, right? Especially coming from Utah, where it's like primarily 90% white and you kind of live in this little bubble, right? And so it's really good to get that experience. So that's one really, really good thing. I think a second thing is having the opportunity to lead a group in your class or in your program, and or being presented with an opportunity like I was here at Ensign to help run the student agency. And that was something that I had applied for and ended up getting the position for. And I went out of my way to do that. It wasn't necessarily given to me, but I went out and worked hard and got that. And that provided me with a lot of leadership opportunity, mentorship opportunity. And college and or university provides that structure for you to get those skills and learn, hopefully, from a really good mentor. But I wouldn't say going to school by itself gives you those skills, but actually going to school, applying those things that you're learning and actually working hard gives you those skills, right?
So talk to us a bit about Scroll then, how that program in digital marketing kind of transitioned you into your pursuits now with Scroll.
Yeah, so Scroll, myself and my business partner Shane actually also was a student at LDSBC, and we connected a little bit there, but didn't connect until later when he was working at KSL, which is in this same little Triad Center building right here. So he was working for KSL, and we decided we wanted to start a digital marketing agency together. And we wanted to be different than what we both had experience at the time. I had some experience in the student agency. He had an experience at a larger agency that was more commercial, and we had both freelanced. We kind of seen the full gamut in our naive mind at that time when we're still young. And we just wanted to start something together and be different. And that's how we first started. And what we do now is we have two sections of our business. One is Scroll, which focuses on helping other agencies grow. So we grew our agency. We've done over $6 million in revenue, and we grew our own agency and now help and teach other agency owners how to grow, build systems, develop their agency, fulfill for their clients, and then come to us for fulfillment. So that's Scroll. And then we also have Scroll Works. So we have a lot of smaller businesses that aren't agencies that need digital marketing help. You know, your average run-of-the-mill mom and pop service business, home service, professional service, that they're doing their stuff, but they don't know how to grow. So they come to Scroll Works, and we help them with full service digital marketing. You know, advertising, web design, SEO, you name it. We come in and we help them with any marketing related materials to grow their small business.
So how has your education impacted your personal and professional growth?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like school's not necessarily for everyone, and that's maybe a hot take, but I feel like school provides you with a way to learn how to, one, structure your life, and two, structure it also that works with how the world works too. And so going to school and actually applying the things that you learn is what helps you continue to grow as a human being. And that may be, instead of going to school, you end up just, working at a job, right? And you learn those things and apply those to your life. But actually attending, a formalized and formal education does help you learn how to learn, right? And then applying that into your real life can impact everything in your life, right? If I didn't go to LDSBC at the time, now Ensign College, I don't know where I would be today. And I don't know if I would have said that back then, but I do say it now because of one, the people I interacted with, two, because of myself learning how to learn and how to apply those things in my life, and then three, being able to work hard and get opportunities that I probably wouldn't have had otherwise.
How does being a capable and trusted disciple of Jesus Christ impact your business pursuits and kind of how you run your business?
Yeah, I think being a member, we all strive to be like Christ, right? And he is, in my opinion, the perfect leader, was the perfect leader, is an amazing example of true discipleship and leadership, right? And we're all not perfect. We all strive to be like that. And there's lots of things that we can learn from Christ and the way he acted towards his disciples and towards just everyday people that he came in contact with in the stories that we read and see and know, right? And so in my life, I've tried to be as empathetic as I possibly can, and I try hard every single day, and I'm not perfect, but in the act of trying, I think is where you're getting at, right? In the act of trying to be better each and every day, not only for my now employees and the people that I feel very responsible for and their families responsible for, but also our clients and their businesses, because they have families and they have businesses, and if their business doesn't grow, they don't get to feed their family, right? And so being able to be empathetic and understand the situation that they're in and then guiding them, I think is how I'm really trying to emulate those kind of Christ-like attributes for sure. And the school helps with that, right? It's a mixture of gospel learning and secular learning, right? Because you need both. You need to understand how the world works. You also need to understand how to be a better disciple of Jesus Christ, right? And so it's both of those things.